Hey everybody, we're just getting everyone logged in, so we'll just give it a couple more minutes here, and then we will get kicking off. Hey, well, we'll go ahead and get started. So welcome everyone. I'm glad everyone was able to make it today. We wanted to kind of get together and talk about non-owner occupieds because as we did our polling and asking what topics you guys wanted to cover, everyone's in agreement that we all need more listings, right? Like we don't need any more buyers, we just need some more listings. And so this is one of those areas that a lot of us have not really tapped into, myself included. So I'm definitely not an expert on this matter, but when this came up as a really popular topic, I took the time to go through all the Tom Ferry resources that I could find. And I've compiled a lot of those for you guys in this slide deck that I will share with you after the meeting. So everyone should have that to reference. And then I also talked to a lot of people and I brought in a few of you guys that are really kind of taking the bull by the horns in this area. So just some bright minds in this group all together. So if you have done this, even if we didn't chat previously, if you have any success or tips, like I want everyone to share. Hopefully we all leave with some good ideas and some confidence and just some know-how so that we can go out and kind of tap into this market and hopefully get some new listings in 2022. So we have with us today, so Sandee Payne is going to be with us. She's actually here on the call. And I'll share a little bit about Sandee as we get to know her. So some of you may have already seen what she's doing with non-owner occupieds because she has shared it in the Tom Ferry Elite Facebook group. And I linked the video here too, so we can kind of check that out because it's really unique and really cool. So Sandee was challenged by Tom at last year's summit to, Sandee, was it to go on 100 listing appointments or was it to take 100 listings?
To sign 100 listings.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So how are you doing on that?
I'm back to my natural color, so I need to update my picture.
I know everyone needs to find you on Facebook and follow you so that they can keep up with what hair color you have. So when we see you at the next event, we can find you. So, okay, so it was to sign 100 listings, and how are you doing on that? Because we're about like halfway, right?
Yeah, we're a little bit less than halfway, to be honest, because summit this year is in August, not October. So I had about 10 months to make this happen. Right now I'm at number 36. I do have 5 or 6 more listings happening here in probably the next week or two. And then I have about another 10 or 12 in a pipeline, you know, further out than the next couple of weeks. So I'm keeping the faith. I'm hoping that I'm inspired as well by some other tactics because I feel like I'm in a little bit of a desperate. I'm like, please stop it. I started praying about it, you know. that's where we are. But I'm staying very confident. So
awesome. Well, if you don't mind, I was just going to share the video that you put on the Facebook page because I think that gives a really good intro. Because when you and I talked, I hadn't watched that video yet. And so I had a really good idea of what you were doing. But then when I saw the video, it was like a big aha moment. So I'm just going to go ahead and play that for you guys. It's just a quick couple minutes, but it'll give you a really good idea of exactly what she has going on here. So hopefully you guys can, oh wait, the volume's not there yet. Give me 1 second here to get my volume up on my other computer.
Again, a different hair, but I'm gonna stick with this for a while. This is gonna be my signature look.
All the different hairs. Okay. Hopefully you guys can all hear it. Okay.
Tom Ferry ecosystem. Sorry, I got like ahead of myself. Sandee, Payne here in the Fort McLean, Texas area. Wanted to share with you a little bit more detail.
Can everyone see it and hear it?
Yes. Mailing campaign.
No.
Really.
Okay. For some reason, it stopped sharing my screen. Let's see here.
I can still see it.
You can see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
It's not playing though. It's like still.
Okay. Technical difficulties. Sorry, guys. I thought that when I drug this over, it would share it.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
Hit play again.
Yesterday, and I got a lot of requests on Messenger to get a little bit more into the details so that you all could take this opportunity and do it yourself. So I wanted to just share with you real quick. I'm going to turn my camera around so you can see what I'm doing. The first thing I have to say is your setup. So I make sure when I am ready to do such a massive thing that I have everything I need. So here I have my non-occupied owner list that came out of the realist tax. You can go in and hit the search parameters and actually find the non-occupied owners. So that is names, the street address, and then their current mailing address via tax record. I also make sure I write on the top and do a quick CMA on all of the properties that sold in the last 6 months, so I can get that average dollar per square foot, because this is just going to entice them to call me back. I'm not going through hundreds of these trying to figure out if they're 1-story, 2-story, etc., but just kind of giving an average price point. I also have my note cards. Now these I have custom made. I designed them on Canva and just have them printed on Vistaprint. So I have thousands of these in our office, many different types. But on the back, I have our logo, and then that QR code just goes right to just our general website for information. But then what I did is I created a template. So the bottom of the template, you can see that there's blank spaces. So I just kind of wrote it out with a gel pen, a black gel pen, what I basically wanted to say in every card, leaving plenty of space for the name, the address, and then that dollar per square foot for the neighborhood. So it makes it really, really easy and fast to fill these in one at a time, and this is saving a ton of work by having them all pre-printed. You can see I have about 250 stacked there for this particular neighborhood. Then what I did is I decided to add a little bit of enticing. So I created a QR code with flow code. You put your little logo right there in the middle. You can see, make it super cute, and kind of encouraging them to watch now. What this does is takes them to a video that I put in a private setting on YouTube of me basically just saying hi, introducing myself, and why I'm sending them this note. And so I have a $1,000 Amazon gift card giveaway. If they watch the video to the end, they'll hear, and thank you for watching this video. Respond back to me via text with your name, and you will go in for a $1,000 Amazon gift card drawing. So what I'm hoping is to just get some contact information for people interested enough to click on the code and send me their information, because of course I don't have their phone numbers. Again, the station is completely set up. I don't want to have to get up and down from my chair 100 times. I have the envelopes ready to go, the cards, the list, the stamps. I also included one of my little mini moves.
Korinna, you can't. I can't see the video anymore.
Yeah, the video's
Yeah.
gone.
I'm pulling it up here. So I'm so sorry.
Dropbox. So as I stamp them, I can drop them right into the box. So that is the process. Definitely work on your printer settings. That was our biggest complication yesterday, trying to figure out how to get my template card in through my printer and out, all lined up. Probably wasted about 20 cards trying it, but we figured it out. And so, yeah, now we can mass produce those cards. And get them out into the mail really, really quickly. So if you have any more questions about what I am doing, of course, this is much better than a printed out form letter in a letter size envelope that would look like a bill. Everybody loves a little handwritten note card, and this is how I've emulated doing that. Super personal. When I use the gel pen to fill in the example, like to fill in the name and the rest of the information, it is practically unrecognizable as being a copy. So hopefully people will just read it, not really analyze and hold the ink up to the light, but it is pretty darn close. I would be impressed if I were to get this, and it seems super, super personal. So enjoy. I hope you take this idea and run with it. I'm sending out probably about 1,000 of these in the next week to my most local neighborhoods that know me, and will recognize our brand, and hopefully we'll just kind of pushing that out a little bit more, and pushing into other neighborhoods. And the cool thing is I will have all the addresses, so we will be doing follow-up campaigns since I have all the lists of addresses. So I hope you found that interesting. Let me know if you have any questions, and happy non-occupied owner listing efforts. Hopefully, I think in 1,000 cards that go out, I would really love to see about 20 listing opportunities. As you all know, I have 100 listing challenge with Tom before the next summit. So I am pulling out all the stops of things that I should have been doing. I know I should have been doing. And this is so exciting to be actually creating these systems and putting these in place regularly in our business. So enjoy, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I will update you all when we get back. And thank you so much for watching.
All right. So I thought that was pretty awesome, in such a cool, unique way to kind of go about this. So Sandee, tell us about how it's going. So that was Thanksgiving. So tell us about how that's going while I get this pulled back up.
Yeah, so that was Thanksgiving. It probably took me about 2 weeks to find the time to get them all out the door, because I did hand address everything and a first class stamp. I know, we've heard from Tom a million times, just taking that personal moment. I myself have properties, and I have gotten these just random bulk letters, and I'm not impressed. I'm like, oh my gosh, you probably sent these to a million people. But I really felt my first impression to these people would be a little bit different than maybe what they're typically getting. So I will say I wound up with at the first mailing, I wound up with five calls. And I actually just got my 6th call from it yesterday. So months later, but I am continuing to farm these lists. So that was kind of just step 1. Obviously with any system like this, like you have to continue to do it, right? We're not going to see a ton of action from the one postcard or one mailing. It takes that consistent monthly branding, opportunity to kind of keep pushing. So now I have kind of a series of postcards that are going out every month to this group, as well as some other neighborhoods that I'm farming with the same information. And yeah, all of them do have a QR code to something. It's really interesting. People may not call you, but they will watch the QR code. They feel like you don't know that they're watching, but you are able to see, if you're using a YouTube link, how many people have viewed your video. So it's kind of cool to say, okay, well, one person called, but that's a very specific QR code to that video alone that only went in those cards. So you can clearly see, I think I had about 27 views, which I think is great. I mean, that's a 10% view on the 250 that I sent. So I kind of look at that as just a pretty good return on one card. And then the next couple cards, kind of talk about value and, again, kind of the same repeat people over and over. Everything has a QR code that's going to take them to a video of whatever the postcard is about. Again, trying to put my voice and my face in that personal piece so they can start to feel like they're getting to know me. Like that's really the whole point of this. I think, they're not here. Obviously they're not here. Most of them are in another state. So they don't know me. They're not going to have the chance to probably ever personally meet me. So I'm doing everything I can to make sure that they get me, they get my style, they know who it is, who's talking to them. And it's not just, generic, I guess you can say.
And you've taken 2 listings from this already out of the first 250 you sent, is that right?
Yeah, yep. I took 2 listings right away from it. They really, and they really liked the fact that they had a number, like they actually had a number they could calculate in their mind, a starting point for their house. A lot of letters they get, it's just, hey, are you the owner of this house? Do you want to sell it? But no one really has taken the time to do a little bit of a calculation for them. And although it was just the average dollar per square foot, the note says, like, if this gets you thinking about selling, let's talk more in detail about your specific property, values. So, yeah, it really, I thought I would have liked to get it. It would have been very different. And I may have, not being in real estate, of course, or having access, I probably would have called. I would have definitely watched the video, and I may have even called and just said, hey, what does that mean for my house? I mean, for that curiosity piece.
Korinna, can I ask a couple of questions to Sandee?
Absolutely, please.
Great, thank you. So Sandee, thank you so much for being here. I've watched a couple of those videos on Facebook. A couple of questions here, just so that I can clarify a couple of things. You mentioned that you send out like 1,000 cards. Like, how many do you do, and how do you space them out?
Yes, so that first batch, I did 250. And I just got them in the mail. And then I waited about 2 to 3 weeks, because that's typically what I've experienced. Like, if something's going to get returned, it's going to get returned back to me for an invalid address or a bad forward. It usually is going to come back in that first couple weeks. So I knew those would be returned, and I can either just scratch them off the list or, kind of pay attention to see if an address changes in the future before I keep mailing postcards. And postage, that adds up over time.
Right, because you send it regular mail, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I understand that every door direct mail, I use that in other farming opportunities. But I think that comes with the expectation that everyone in the neighborhood got it. Like, when it has kind of that bulk postage or printed address, that's fine. That's just getting information out to people for them to read. But this specific campaign that I really wanted to touch on the fact that, like, I am your market person here. Like, I'm paying attention to your property where no one else is. And I really wanted that to try to speak more personally to them, be like, oh, wow, like, I don't even know her, and she's paying attention to the values of my property, and I'm not even there. Like, I don't know, to me, that I'd be impressed by that.
Right.
Just kind of getting that update. And so my intention with them is, the next 2 months, I'm going to send it. I wish I have a copy of it. Like, I can pull one. Hold on. I'll show you what I sent last month real quick. Sorry, I should have had that in front of me. So this was the next postcard that not only went out to that list of people, but additionally to about 6 other farming neighborhoods. So I'll try to hold it up. It's just cute. When it comes to your home value, we don't monkey around, okay? And it just talks about, I also, one of the recommendations in Tom Ferry was to join HomeBot. Hopefully you've all heard that word.
Yeah.
I did have to have my lender collaborate with me with that to be part of that program. But this card actually went out to all those people, and I can send this. I'll send this to Korinna and make sure she gets this in the deck. So you all can, but it just basically says curiosity is always complimentary at Compass. Interested in keeping track of your property value? Check out HomeBot. It's bananas. Okay. Obviously I had to throw the bananas thing in there. And then the QR code actually takes them to my HomeBot, where they can upload their own address into the HomeBot system and start getting these really nice, from what I can see, very nice reports. It's kind of a portal for them to watch their value. The cool thing is, then I get an email saying, oh, someone new, logged into, signed up for HomeBot. And then I cross-reference that name with my list. And it
Yeah.
provides me that chance now to start shifting my messaging maybe to that specific person, or, reach out through HomeBot, because now you have an address, an email address, and a phone number. Hey, thank you so much for registering for HomeBot. I'm glad that you did that. Let's talk more about your property so I can fine tune the numbers for you. So when you're going into your portal, these are a little bit more accurate. Just again, another I don't know. I always think people worry about contacting a realtor because then we're going to harass them.
Who's got time?
which we do. So I always like these QR codes because I feel like it's a committed or like just a non-salesy or non-threatening piece that I'm giving them information on their own terms to go in and do it. I'm not really pushing them. But at the back end, I'm watching and I'm paying attention, and I'm now starting to strategize more on an individual basis once these things start to happen, than maybe like a bulk basis.
Right.
Sandee,
So
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
It's Marna. Are you using, because I have your expired plan that I know I told
Marna,
you I
you're
executed.
One of my favorite fans. I love Marna.
So I'm taking those postcards and using them for my non-occupied owner. Is that what you're doing? Did you do those postcards? Is that what you've converted?
Yes. So, yep. So that was my second mailer piece after the original letter.
Okay.
Now I feel like they'll recognize my name. They've seen my face
Right.
on a video, and they have my card, of course, in that other. So now it's just starting to be like, okay, maybe you're not ready, but let me keep providing you valuable information and valuable resources about your property. So I'll do 2 postcards, and then I have another postcard set up to go out at the beginning of the month. And then I do that every door direct mail now at that point. So I don't have a physical one in front of me but I have it. I can download like the PDFs to all the postcards I've designed if everybody would want to see those for inspiration. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And if you love them and you're like, oh my gosh, I'll just change the picture, just message me. I'll just send you the Canva template. So you don't have to try, if you're not graphic-y.
Yeah.
You don't have to try to create it on your own. I'm happy to do that as well. And so then the 4th touch points, I figure a personal note and 2 kind of, generic more, and then I'll reach out again. The 4th touch point will be another type of very personal piece. Maybe starting to even narrow down, talk about interest rates, what that means for their house, what that may look like for their renter. Most of them have tenants, your value's going up. Do you know you can get more rent? If you can, you can either get more rent, because your value is going up, or it's talk to them about the market and how, the inventory is moving so quick. We practically don't have any sitting still, And I'll just keep going. And hopefully there will be some magic moment that everybody just all of a sudden has this, I really need to talk to this girl to sell my house thing.
Can I ask a quick question? For the writing on the cards, you said you used a gel pen, but then it looks like you printed them. So did you pick out a font that looked handwritten?
That's my handwriting.
You wrote every single one then?
No. So what I did is I wrote one in my own handwriting. So I do have nice handwriting, I have to say. I've had many people ask me what font I've used, but that is just my handwriting. Wow. I just wanted to be super authentic. We all get those birthday cards from some other realtors that are now in some postcard campaign, and it's printed on there and it looks cheesy. Do they even know they sent it? I mean, I love getting them, but do they even know they sent it? Even that to me is I'm part of some automated thing. So I created all one, and I left the blanks just as hi blank, right? Here's the address, plenty of line for address, and then whatever the dollar per square foot. I actually loaded blank cards into my printer and put this on the glass. And as they printed, they just printed my writing all right onto the note cards.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Then I just went back and filled in the missing spots off the list.
Mhm.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Sandee, quick question. Can you share that private YouTube video that you sent to?
Go ahead, snap it with your phone.
Uh-huh. Oh, wait. But I thought it was private. It's not?
Wait, it's over now. I gave them a deadline, so you're more than welcome to watch it. As long as you have the link, you can watch it.
So
Okay.
Sandy, does
Sorry.
it go to your full YouTube page or just a generic page for this specific video?
It's gonna take them to that video. It is on my regular YouTube page. Let me know if that's working, y'all.
Oh, got it, I think.
I can also send this to Korinna so she can get this out to everybody.
I got it.
I'll
Thank
I'll
you.
make sure she gets all that.
Mhm.
So it does go to my YouTube channel. However, that specific video is private, just if you have that link. So the
Okay.
general
Okay,
public's not
perfect.
ever gonna watch this video. And I'm also able to go back and track, you know, since I know that QR code only goes to the people who have that
Right,
QR code,
right.
that link, then I can see who watched it. But you're more than welcome to watch it. Yeah. And
Thank
then they're on my YouTube page, so they can just stay on my YouTube page and watch whatever else they want to watch. while they're
Exactly,
there.
exactly. That's great.
So Sandy, can I ask you a couple of questions?
Sure.
Are you a solo agent?
I will say yes to the sense that I am still in major production. I am a team lead, growing a
Okay.
team. I have 4 newer agents on my team.
Right,
But yeah, I act like a solo agent.
right. And let me ask, before the challenge, how many transactions did you do?
So last year, so I'll say in 2021, I did 76 transactions.
Wow.
52 were listings.
Very good, very good.
Yeah. So, you know, obviously he needed to challenge me. And what the cool thing about this whole thing was, and people were probably like, what the heck did she just shake his hand for? You know, like that's a lot, right? My mind went like this. One, I'm not on that stage by accident, right?
Right.
I mean, my coach knows my production. They know what my capabilities are. They know that I can do this. It's just mindset and systems. So I know that that challenge didn't come from a place of, I doubt she can do it. It's, I believe she can do it if she just focuses on a few more areas. I
Right.
bet you she can do this. If anybody can do it, she can do it, you know? And I felt that when I had that opportunity. I didn't know there was going to be a challenge. That definitely came as a surprise. I would have shook that man's hand for whatever. Like at that point. And then what I really was excited about is I know all these things. I know I have to farm. I know I have to get out there. I know I need to look at non-occupied. Like we all know these things. We hear them everywhere, you know, all the time. But this was going to force me to create a system and actually execute and apply what I know I should be doing. I just allow myself to get distracted with everything like we all experience. So I was more excited about, this is literally going to change my business. Like this is literally going to change my business. If I drop 100 listings in my market, like people will know my name. This is going to majorly affect my brand, my name. Like I looked at it as like a more of a business growth challenge. Am I going to get to the 100? I hope. I'm going to work towards it. But if I get 80, like I can't really be upset with myself.
No, not at all. So where are you
Because
located? Did I see Texas somewhere?
Yeah, so I'm around Fort Hood. We're a big military base, just about 45 minutes north of Austin.
Okay.
Yeah, so I kind of
We have
Austin and
referrals in
north.
that area. We're sending them to you to get you to 100.
Please, yeah, if you have any listing referrals, please, you know, send them my way. I'll take great care of them. But yeah, so that was kind of like, and people were like, oh my gosh, you're crazy. And I'm like, no, I really am looking forward to it. And there's days that I'm like, what did I do? And then there's weeks that I'm like, I've done nothing to try to get more listings. Like get your crap together, Sandee. Like this is serious. You know, you're going to be on stage with this man and you're going to have to tell 10,000 people if you did this, like, I
Right.
would really like to take his money on stage. So that's kind of the motivation behind, me just really working hard and putting a lot of these systems in place. And then I can train my team on these systems. So much of it's in our head. We never really put it out. We never really execute it to a SOP, like to step 1, step 2, rinse and repeat. This is what it looks like. This is what you write, like actual line by line process that anybody, like, I don't have an assistant. I keep firing them, but I just haven't found the right one. But like, this could be something an assistant could literally just churn and I'll never have to think about it. But
Yeah.
right now I'm creating the process, creating the system, but eventually it'll be something that just becomes part of our business and the return continues, and we start to see that. But like anything, it takes time and nurture and, a discipline,
Yeah.
not just for non-occupied owners, clearly, but for any listing strategy you're trying to incorporate.
So it started off with the note card and the handwritten letter, and then you went to postcards.
Yeah, so the next 2 will be postcards. One will be home bought, and I think the other one, where does that QR code go? I have to look. I can't remember because I've been designing a couple of them. One's going to go to, one went to home bought. One's going to take them to like my social media. Another one's going to take them to like tips on how, like what to do in preparation for a sale, like how you can make sure that your home is staying at top value. So just other things like that along the way, just things that they can be thinking about. A lot of non-occupied owners are not really thinking about those properties. They get the money and, they're not really thinking. They don't care. I hate to say that, but like, as long as the rent's getting paid, like it's kind of out of sight, out of mind for them. So just kind of continuing to bring their awareness back to their property, letting them know, hey, just FYI, in the last 6 months, 14 homes in your neighborhood sold. And now we have a new average dollar per square foot. That means yours is even worth more. Just kind of getting into that routine of keeping them up, thinking about their property and keeping that value in front of them. There's going to be a time where that number clicks and they're in a position in life. Maybe they just had a child, maybe they're moving, maybe there's a divorce, or any life change may just be that sweet moment that they're like, you know what, I could use 180,000 right now, and I want to be the one they think of, when they come to that conclusion. I want to have been right in front of them all the time.
So I think that that's a really awesome approach. There are a lot of other people in our ecosystem that are subscribing to other data sources where they're getting emails and phone numbers and incorporating a campaign that also includes texting and emailing and things like that. So I grabbed some of those data sources for you guys in case you are interested in building out your own campaign, maybe incorporating some of Sandee's techniques, but also, incorporating, like, I want to do something that includes text messaging because I know that people are going to respond to that sometimes more so than mail. And so let me figure out that I can share my screen again, and I'll give you guys those resources. The first one that I dug into was Property Radar, which looks pretty cool. It does integrate with different dialers. It's $79 a month to join it, and then you can get all of the non-owner occupied info. So the addresses, the emails, the phone numbers. I mean, how accurate they are, I don't know, but Avi Becker did a live a couple weeks ago, and he was calling the people that he mailed to through Property Radar, and it seemed like everyone that answered the phone was actually the non-owner occupied owner. So it seemed like it was pretty accurate from that perspective. So I thought $80 a month is a pretty good deal, and I think they had like a promo where you could get like 3 days free so that you could try it out. I know HomeSnap has that service available, and then Mojo also has that service available, and they have a built-in marketing system where you can mail your letters through Mojo as well. So it looked like they piece it out for price-wise. So it's $99 a month for the dialer, and then it's $25 a month for the data. And then if you're going to do the mailers, then of course there's going to be a price for that too. So just kind of depending on what you have set up in your office. If you already have Mojo, I mean, then you probably can add that data for $25 if you're not already getting it. Tax records are great, but they don't give you emails and phone numbers, right? So some people were saying that they're using Fiverr and hiring people to do skip tracing, and then gathering that information through Fiverr is actually cheaper than subscribing to one of the services. So just kind of depending on what your budget is. And I have that in the slide. So when I send out the deck, you guys will all be able to get you know, all of that information that I kind of did some preliminary digging on. Because I thought that was my first thing, whereas I'm just like, where am I going to get the data? And I want to make sure that wherever I'm getting it, it's pretty accurate, especially if I'm going to spend a lot of money on it.
And time, Korinna, like just like any of these things, like we have to really make sure, am I going to actually do this? Am I going to time block to make these calls and follow up with these people? Again, one phone call and leaving a message is not going to work. Like there has to be a big commitment piece. And I think any of them sound financially very reasonable. But again, it's going to be that time commitment, you know, that to dedicate to, you know, take it seriously, I guess you could say, and keep that follow up. I think in Ferry's system, they say it's like 18 touches before you can expect someone to actually feel like they know you enough to respond. That's 18, one a month. That's a year and a half. That's a long time to keep up with people.
And that's exactly why I was thinking, like, to do the mail piece, but follow it with a, you know, a fly broadcast, generic voicemail, and to, you know, have a text message in there, and, you know, to do as much as we can to get multiple touches in to follow up with that mail, to make that mail even more effective, since the mail is a little bit more costly.
I agree with that. And not everybody responds the same to different types of communication. You know, some older people, I'll just say, you know, kind of prefer the phone call. You know, others, they really just want like a text video or a text, or a couple others. Like I know through our CRM, I'm able to send video messages, and then I can see kind of like BombBomb, like if they've watched it, you know, or clicked it or opened it or whatever. So even of the services like that, that at least, you know, the information's getting to them is the biggest part, right? Like, and then when will they respond? What will that moment be that they respond? So that consistency piece, but I don't subscribe to any of those. I used to use Vulcan in the past for my expireds and for sale by owners. We don't have a ton of that right now. So once COVID hit, I realized those numbers were just, it wasn't worth me paying hundreds of dollars a month to get like one phone number, just because it wasn't happening. So I did cancel that at that time, but probably to a point, again, to me, it's commitment. Am I going to have the hours to sit and to do these things, or how automated can I take that information and put it into something, action plan, drip campaign? Like, is there something I can kind of set a little bit and forget it for 3 months, you know, and then come back and create the next portion? Because I know I do not have hours to just, you know, be dialing. I mean, that's just, for me, I just don't, you know.
Yeah, I think if you have an ISA or something, like this is a great thing to put them on for a follow-up to your mail. And I know I've shared with some of you guys the marketing company that I use. So I'm building my non-owner occupied campaign with my marketing company, so they can actually send all my text messages, do all my mailers, and I just kind of have to tell them what I want it to say and give them the addresses and phone numbers, and they just like take it over for me, which is a huge benefit because I am kind of solo in terms of, you know, I don't have a big staff to help me with a lot of these things. So I like to just outsource it to a third party and be like, this is what I want it to say. You execute it. And so if anybody wants information on that company, I can give you that as well. They handle all of my marketing to my sphere and everything. So, so that was one piece that I wanted to definitely add in, was like the data sources. And then I'm trying to think what else. So some of you guys remember that Matt he was on stage at Elite Retreat and he provided the letter that he was sending. And so I have that included as well. So you don't have to go digging for that. It's a good first piece if you just need something to send out first. Roseanne was going to be on the call with us today and she had something come up and she wasn't able to. But what she has done is that she mails out a letter kind of similar to this. And she mailed it once a year to everyone in her town that is a non-owner occupied. And then the people that respond to it, she puts in a drip campaign. And she's done it consistently, just one time a year, one mailing a year for 5 years. And she's taken consistently about 2 to 3 listings a year from that. So I thought that was a really like simple approach, just to make, you know, like if you're not doing anything, to do one mailer and to be able to get a couple of calls back that you can then continue to nurture through a drip. So I thought that that was a nice, simple, easy approach for those of us that might not be as ambitious, but want to kind of dip a toe in the water. And then I also had a couple other sample letters that were provided. This particular letter, it's a little bit dated as far as, I think it was like when the market was crashing. So you will want to update it, but I like it because it's like, here are the top 5 reasons why you should consider selling your home now. Because it's not always about price for people, but, you know, tying in market and things like that. And then here's just a sample postcard. So I threw a few samples of things in there, and then I'll get everything that Sandee has done and I'll email that out to you guys so you have some samples there as well. But what other questions do you guys have on non-owner occupieds that we can jump into in our last 15 minutes here?
I do have a question for Sandee. Hi, Sandee, it's Maria. First of all, thank you so much for sharing all this information. And I think it's really helpful. And I'm rooting for you to get to your 100. So if there's anything I can do to help you send people your way, I'll do it. The biggest question I have for you is, how long did it take you from drafting your letter, getting it into and mailing it out? I just want to make sure I have the time and really sit down, because I think it's a really great idea. But, you know, I just need to know what the bandwidth I need to give up and make sure that I account for this. So from the time you wrote everything, printed out everything, mailed out your first 250 cards, how long did it take you? Because you're literally, it looks like you're signing and you're putting everything, scratching off, you know, it's already sent, stamped or whatever. How long did it take you?
Well, I came back obviously right after. So it was like something I did almost immediately. I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this? So I figured out how to, you know, it took me just maybe 30 minutes to actually download all the lists from non-occupied owner in Realist that I figured out how to do. I think everyone's Realist should do it. I actually saw a YouTube video on something the other day, and somebody was able to get phone numbers and emails off of Realist. So I don't know if that's a Texas thing that we can't get, or where you may be so lucky wherever you all are, that you can do that. Yeah, Kim, your hand is flat.
So Remind, apparently, when you export, it does pull numbers and emails, but you don't see them when you're looking at them. So Remind may do that.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, to me, you know, I love the phone numbers and emails. I just didn't start there. I just felt like we're also inundated with spam. You know, I mean, is my phone number even going to come up, or am I going to be a potential spam? You know, it just was one of those, I know I get hundreds of emails a day, and if I don't know that I need that email, like I don't even really read them. So I just felt, first off, being as personal versus driving to their house address and knocking on their door, like this was as close as I could come, is like, I really want to talk to you. I really am thinking about you, not anyone else. Like that was kind of my initial. But honestly, like once I knew what I was going to do, I mean, I could have probably whipped it all out in 5 hours. I mean, knowing what I was going to do. It was the, what am I going to do a video? What am I going to say in the card? You know, that just took a little thought. But I'd say like I had that whole first 250 like done and out in the mail in just a matter of a couple of days. All I was doing is just writing a name, $1 per square foot, and an address, because I had figured out the copy machine to do all the, you know, bulk of it. So it was pretty quick. I mean, I think from the scheme of it, it was pretty fast.
That's
And
excellent.
I think just scheduling, you know, having all the supplies ready, like having kind of a little assembly line out, you know, on a desk. If I had 5 minutes, like I literally would get 3 more out the door, like rather than having to pull it all out every time, just like get a table, lay it out when you have 2 seconds or you're on a call or you're, you know, just listening to whatever you're doing. You can just sit there and super fast, you know, everything was like labeled, stamped, ready to go. It was just a matter of moving the information from one piece of paper to the other.
My question would be, I have a problem with leveraging and getting, allowing other people to handle things for me.
Yes, me too.
So when you know everything in Excel, or do you
Okay, you're very robotic. Kiana, so I think
allow somebody to mail everything for you? Like you do hand stamp, like put stamp on each envelope and mail it out yourself, or like say if you got to just. Oh.
Yes, you're a little broken. Yeah,
Okay.
you're a little broken up.
I have a problem with leveraging.
Yeah.
I'll type it in.
Yeah, type it in the chat. I think we get the
Yeah.
gist of what you're saying, but if you want to type it in the
Yeah.
chat, that would be awesome.
So she's asking if I like literally personally like stamp. Yes, I literally personally stamp and handwrite every single thing myself. I have a problem with delegation as well, but I've learned to allow some things that I don't mind being delegated to come off my plate to other people, and hold firmly to what I just can't get rid of. But I do think, especially now, since I'm kind of developing the process and learning the process and the system, once I feel like, okay, like this is exactly what I need someone to do, I feel like I'll be able to delegate this comfortably, knowing that what they're doing is the way that I would have done it, you know? And I think that goes with all marketing. I mean, even Korinna, you know, she still is involved in the creation and what her vision is. She's just allowing someone else to run with it on their time so she can focus on other things. One thing I wanted to kind of just caveat on the non-occupied owners, what these lists are also creating is an opportunity for my team to go to those tenants and talk to them about buying. So I'm reutilizing these lists, knowing that every one of these people is a renter in this address. And I have one agent on my team specifically who copied the list and went and door knocked on all the addresses, trying to talk to the tenant and talking to them about the market and the interest rates. And if they're considering buying, maybe a good time before interest rates go up. So, or maybe a good time to talk to your landlord about buying the property you're living in. Maybe we can make a simultaneous transaction happen. You know, if they're ready to sell and you're ready to purchase, we might be able to work something out where you're not competing with everyone else right now in this market to get a house. So really thinking out of the box a little on, once I've done this research, you know, how else can we turn around and utilize that to possibly benefit, you know, even more transactions.
Kiana also asked if you hired like a TC or an admin to help you, or did you create all of this yourself?
I created all this myself. I do have the gift of creativity and design. So no, I don't have an admin. I do have a TC, but she handles over 100 of our real estate transactions a year. So she's pretty busy and she's not a creative at all, at all. So I think trying to multitask one person to do things in 3 different genres, it's not their specialty. I think that's where I would rather have a bunch of part-time people that are in their lane with what I need them to do, than trying to task an admin who loves checklists really and emails to try to create a campaign, a mailing campaign. It's just two different people. No, I pretty much manage all of the vision and all our marketing, everything myself. But I love that part. That just kind of was a part that I'm like, I don't want to give away something I love that brings me joy in my business. Let me give away something else like checklists and emails. I can give that to somebody else.
So I'm going to be sending all of these slides out to everyone with the different letters and mailing pieces. I also have a link. There's a Tom Ferry Facebook group that is all about absentee owners. So if you are interested in diving further, that's something to join. And there's also a link to another pre-recorded mastermind. Here's kind of the campaign that I put together. And then I wanted to just talk to everybody really quickly about the sales and marketing edge that's coming up in Austin. I am going to be heading out to attend that one. And so I wanted to get an idea of who else was going to be there so that we can put together some,
I'll be
so we can put together some fun stuff. Right now I'm looking at doing a tour of all the murals with a photographer so that we could like get some really good pictures and stuff. So if you're going to be going to Austin, let me know so that I can just get a feel for how many people and what types of fun stuff we can do for networking and hanging out together. And before we wrap up here, does anyone else have any other questions they want to get out? We have just about 5 minutes. So
Korinna, about the sales edge, do you know when they're going to come out with the hotel where we can book it?
When you reserve your ticket, it emails you and tells you the hotel that it's at. And then it says that like room block information is to be announced, but the rooms at that hotel are not very expensive. I mean, they're around $200. So I would say like, that's probably the hotel we're going to be at. To go ahead and just book there is what I was thinking. I was also looking at the Omni because it's like right around the corner and it looked like it was a nicer hotel. So I was thinking about staying there and walking over, but it does tell you the actual hotel, which I think is the Sheraton when you reserve your ticket.
So I tried there and I went online a few days ago and they're booked, fully booked.
All right, then let's all stay at the Omni.
Okay, so I was wondering if they fully booked that just for the sales edge, and I was wondering if I'm the only one missing where, you know, what the link is, because they said they're going to send us a copy. But anyway, I'm definitely wanting to touch base. I love the mural tour, so definitely I'm down for that.
Awesome. And I think Celine is talking about doing like a boat cruise, like in the evening for dinner, like a barbecue on a boat or something fun. So sounds like we're going to have some cool stuff in Austin. Much better than, where were we at last time? Dallas?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, we were in Dallas and that wasn't as much fun. And then we were in, where did we go last time? Oh, Vegas. Vegas. Yeah. Better than Vegas too, I think.
Yeah.
So just as for booking, because I'm getting ready to book my hotel and airfare. Are you guys coming in early? Are you coming in on the days? What kind of time frame?
I'm going to come in on Monday, which is June 13th, which is the day prior. And I'm thinking of doing the mural tour on Monday. I think that the option was like at 6 p.m. So I think it's going to be Monday evening. So if you can come in on Monday, that would be awesome. And then I'm going to leave on Thursday. So I won't be there for any after party shenanigans.
Okay. All right.
And I'm just 30 minutes away. So I don't intend to stay in the hotel. I'm a quick drive up the road. So
we can stay at your house, Sandee.
If you bring a sleeping bag.
Sandee, I have one other question for you. When you do the initial mailer, do you put a return address on them? Somebody once said not to put your
Absolutely.
Do you put Compass on there? Yeah.
Compass and my physical, I have a brick and mortar address right here in my town. So I think they need to see that I'm sending this like literally from my brick and mortar address where their house is.
Right. Okay, cool.
Good question.
This has been wonderful.
I hope so. I hope you know, I was excited when Korinna called because I thought, you know, I'm just a giver, teacher, sharer at heart, because I think if I come up with a great idea, like there's enough, like why can't everybody piggyback on it, or if it's your style. So I was happy to be able to get in with a group of interested ladies who, you know, that I hope that it's just encouraged you to try, right? Like, I don't think there's an exact science to make it happen. I think you have to be authentic to who you are in what you choose and how you choose to market to these people, because when they do call you, they want to feel like who they're talking to, they have gotten to already know. So even though I can share the postcards and we can share letters, my last words, I guess, is make sure it's how you would actually speak. Make sure it's actually what you would say. So if they call you and they question you, you're not like, well, that wasn't really my letter. You know, in the back of your mind, you can't speak on what you say. So really trying to be authentic, try to incorporate video. I mean, I know, again, that's just something we hear 100 times, but on a whole nother topic, like I've already gotten 25 referrals this year from other agents, mostly in the Tom Ferry system. I think because I take the time to put my face and video, and you know who I am, you feel comfortable with me, and I'm on social media. And I think even if you do a mailer and you have a YouTube video of just like, hey, today's, you know, this month's, you know, mail is about XYZ, and this is why it's important to you. Can't wait to send you something next month, or next month you'll be getting this piece, you know, watch for it. And then a link again for them to go to your video and really start to get connected with you. That's my approach, because that's the kind of person I am, and that's who I would want to do business with, is the people who really can embrace the fact that, you know, some people are just investors. They don't want to be emotional. They don't care. It's about money. That's fine too, you know, but I think just be true to yourself and anything that you put out. That way, when it comes back, it's, you know, authentic and true.
Awesome. Good last words. Well, thank you guys so much again for joining. Let me know if you have any ideas for things you want to talk about next month. And I look forward to talking with you all soon. Thanks so much.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks
It means a
everybody.
lot
Have
that
a good
so
day.
many people joined.
Yeah,
And of course,
thank you,
make
Sandee.
sure, yes, yeah. So hopefully we'll stay in touch, and we'll see a lot of people in the next couple months at the event in Austin.
Great. Have a good day, guys.
Well,
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.